one can create your purpose for you. No one can tell you who to be. So in purpose, you have to create your own purpose. And in evolution, you have to evolve towards that purpose. It's easier to live when you have goals to meet. You understand? If you have goals to meet, then you don't feel so voided, and you understand why every day you're looking at this person in the mirror, because that is the cool part about the game. You get to be anybody you want to be.
All right, Steve, we're live. Let me stop sharing the screen right fast. This is Brandon B. Dixon. You're tuned into the Power of Ownership podcast. I'm with my co-host, Stephen Contreras.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Stephen Contreras here.
Right. This is the first show with the intro. What do you think of the intro?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It's really motivating.
Right.
Kind of like shows like what we're about. Trying to inspire.
Right. It's pretty badass. I sent it back a couple of times. Shout out to the video surgeon, Dr. Dre, the video surgeon. He hooked me up with it. I had to send it back a couple of times. Like, I want this, and this, and that. But other than that, he did a pretty good job with it, I think. So, I think it covers the point. I had, what we about and everything like that. So, let me go ahead and start with the formal introduction here. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let me get back to my screen here. All right, here we go. Let me get back to my screen here. All right. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. Again, we're going to start heavily producing this show as well. So I'm going to start going with the lower thirds. I'm just getting some software in. So, again, you'll see the slight changes going back and forth. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. Again, serial entrepreneur, mortgage broker, community activist, so on and so forth. You're tuning in the Power of Ownership podcast. Oh, my book, just before I forget, Sales the Nucleus of Any Profession is out right now. It's still selling pretty hefty. We need to do a few more units, before the end of the year. So get your cop. I might have it on sale before Christmas, so be looking out for that. I got Stephen Contreras here. He's going to introduce himself, and then we're going to introduce the show and get right to it.
Hey guys, Stephen Contreras here, geologist in Houston, Texas. Kind of like a Renaissance man. I studied the arts, the sciences, trying to spread the wealth of knowledge and trying to help people who want to listen. So that's why I'm here.
Right. Again, the Power of Ownership podcast is a little bit different podcast. We just don't talk success. We actually give you working tools on how to achieve that success. Also through not just the physical, but the unseen realm as well, how to bridge the gap between the two, because without, you can't have physical without, the unseen realm. So it works together like peanut butter and jelly, so you got to have the both going together. And that's what a lot of people I think is missing out. They kind of separate the two, and they render unto Caesar what Caesar was for Caesar, and kind of leave the the spiritual out. Or you got the people that's extra spooky, that this
the fake stuff.
to pray about it, and hopefully it drops out the sky.
Yeah,
and doesn't work like that. So you need the combination of both is the ticket. I wanted to start this show off today. A couple of questions that's been on my mind. First is what part does genetics play in your success now, or your habits and your abilities at achieving your goals, or hindering your goals right now? Like what part does your genetics, your family tree, your immediate family play on you right now?
Yeah, I think your family plays a big part in your genetics right now because it's like where you're getting your information, your most current information from, right? They're the ones who are raising you. They're the ones who's bringing you into this material world. If they realize what they're doing or not, like I'd probably say the majority of people don't know what they're doing, but so it makes it a lot harder for those families and those genes who haven't unlocked the better access of information. So I think it's a little harder for most. It plays a huge role in just everyday life and what we do. And a lot of times we're raised with certain principles or we've seen certain tragedies in our lives, and it's part of the plan to be able to overcome those and try not to stop.
Right, right. Well, what about like let me ask you this? You know that there's some people say that family members, that's your past lives, that's your your DNA that's going through you is their DNA as well. How do you like let's say for example with me per se, um a lot of my family members had the victim mentality, the the what we talked about on There's No Spoon, like the scared to try stuff because it'll blow in their face, the social engineering programming. How do you kick that? How do you kick that particular those habits? And
Uh,
how do you like single out the good stuff and diminish the bad stuff?
it's very difficult actually. It's for especially in situations where people aren't very fortunate, you know. So I think personally, like you have to really like get deep into yourself and find it. Trying to unlock different parts of your DNA that's been dormant for a long time right now, and a lot of times the system itself puts in barriers, so it's harder to be able to tap into the regular DNA instead of the bad DNA, I guess, if there's such a thing. So I think you have to really like dig deep, figure out who it is as a human being in the experience of what you want to do, because it's all there. We just have to learn how to tap into it or unlock the different strands of DNA. And I think I've heard the stuff about the family, about how your parents were just different versions of your past lives and stuff, and that makes sense to me. It's all very difficult to explain. I guess it's like if that's the case, then yeah, like I know for a fact because I'm not an expert on that situation, but I do understand that like certain people in your life who are around you, friends, family, in different realities or something, they could be playing different roles for sure, and like different learning experiences. So that's my take on it.
Right. Now let me I mean what do you mean like for the audience dig deep? Like what do you mean dig deep and like what pragmatically what do you do?
I meditate a lot. And you have to have, I think, good mentors too. Say if your family is real difficult and not very successful, I'd say mentorship is probably the easiest way to surround yourself with better people or good people, and not necessarily better, but like people who are motivated, inspired, trying to change the culture that you've always known, and you can't be afraid to be different. You know, always be yourself and meditate, pray, keep learning. You know, you have to in those situations you have to learn how the world works because and you have to teach yourself because no one's going to teach you until you find a good mentor. I think.
Well, yeah, now that's where I wanted to go with it. You know, because that's parallels my story right there. Um, what you have to realize. Let's start off at the beginning with myself. Um, we always taught like when you in the family structure, rebellious and stuff like that is shunned. We look down upon it. Like you want to be different. You want to be different than the family. They're like it's you always get punished and disciplined for that. But you got to take that spirit. And a lot of our audience is probably going to definitely be older. So if you could channel in that spirit when you meditate, that rebellious spirit that you used to have as a child, like, all right, mama said this, you actually want to do, mama said A, you really want to do B, and analyze that, why that was. really analyze the results. See, this is the thing when I really made my change and wanted to go to be when I decided myself I want to be a billionaire and be highly successful and be very influential on this particular plane, and get a couple of streets and lodges named after me.
Yeah,
So
right.
you know I had to really be honest with myself. So I just really replayed damn near every situation that I could remember in my head, like meditated on each one. And that rebellious spirit kind of channeled that. Why did I, when mom said left, I went right? Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Um, when you analyze that, you'll see that it's not really mom that you're rebelling against. It's it's the stuff that you don't like in yourself,
Mhm.
the stuff that's roadblocking you from getting to that next level.
And would you agree that sometimes, like, your parents are here to show you something, right? To teach you something that you didn't, I think, recognize last time. I think that's a really big key to it
Right.
as well.
Well, not whether see that's what people don't understand. Everybody want to be black and white, good and bad. It's not really some things that come in a bad package. Is actually be a lesson for you that you could flip and alchemize into something quote unquote good.
Hmm.
It just is what it
Yeah.
is. Everybody want only look at the positive. Even the negative is a positive.
Yeah, yeah, especially because it's like in the movie Aladdin, right? It's the diamond in the rough. Sometimes, like, the smartest people come from absolutely nothing,
Right.
and then
What
they understand what it takes, the journey and the pain and the suffering to be able to be successful.
Right. I mean, you got to go through something in order. Pressure makes diamonds. You got to go
Hmm.
through something in order to be the best that you could be. Other than that, you're going to be relaxed and lax and chill, and you're not going to get the best you out of it. But just finishing the story. So after I went into deep meditation, the honest meditation, you got to really be honest with yourself. That's when I would say is one of the keys as well. Just be honest. Like all right, what did this is me. This is my real faults. This is what I'm bad at. This is what I'm great at. Um, and just really analyze yourself. I'm terrible at this. Just be honest. What people say about you, um, is not really. You can't dismiss everything. Especially if you keep hearing the same thing over and over and over and over about yourself.
Hmm.
Um, take that into consideration. Like, hey, maybe I am such and such. But people perception is reality. So how people perceive you is what it really is. And really, like I said, even though it's reflecting yourself, they're reflecting that's your mirror. The other people are your mirror.
Hmm.
So it's just not a mirror that you use. It's how other people perceive you is your mirror of yourself. And so also a mirror of themselves as well. But again, you are the master of your universe. So
Hmm.
people keep saying the same thing. You might want to take that into consideration. Like, all right, well, why are people perceiving me as a grouch or a hole or whatever? So you might want to work on that. Um, that's none of this. That's the second. That's the third step. After you think back, be honest. The third step I would say is don't be afraid to change.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to like. All right, I want to. And see, this is why I want to tie this into you know the stars with the Veda zodiac. I don't believe that you stuck into this box. Like what? All right, I do believe in the 12 energies. I do believe in there is certain personalities, but these charts, these man-made charts, where I got to be a certain way because I was born on a certain day. I think that's BS.
Hmm.
I think that the whole thing is to get to godlike status is to change. All right, I came in this energy, but I could alchemize and I could turn lead into gold, and I could change myself and become this better person. So I don't think that with this energy, I think there's science to that, but I don't think you're stuck.
And I've been thinking about maybe, like, say when you were born, right, on your day, that was your old version of
Right,
yourself,
right,
right?
right, right.
And then now you're here to change it.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
energy. That's your template But that don't mean you can't go. You can't create. From there, and that's what I
Mhm.
preach. I like, man, you're not stuck in just because you're a Scorpio. You're not stuck in this particular mold. Just because you're Leo Moon, that
Mhm.
doesn't mean I have to be arrogant.
Yeah.
You can work on those things and become humble. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm all about. I'm all about. I did a 180-degree change. Like where I was 10 years ago is not where I'm at right now. And I did this because of deep meditation, the vibing about family, meditating about family, and not wanting to continue the cycle.
Yeah. Usually, from what I've understood is like usually, so there's different like classes of genetics and family. I think just from my travels, that's what I've observed, and I think like the majority, like people who have to break free of the cycle and actually get to the understanding, I think it takes like 7 years or 7 generations to be able to take your family from nothing to that billionaire status, like to be able to keep evolving the genetics over time.
I don't know, man, because I'm trying to do it in one.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but
I
like
know even my daughter might like have some because she was born into what we consider poverty. But see, this is the thing. It's not just about wealth. I
yeah,
think
for
if you
sure.
work on yourself, because they can have wealthy people when they have terrible traits.
Yeah, yeah, terrible
Yeah,
genetics. Yeah.
they have terrible tendencies. They,
Mhm.
evil, or what we perceive as evil people. They're, rotten people.
Yeah.
So you could be born in wealth. It might be the other thing, to go back to being humble. That might be your, born with everything and going back to the ground. That might be your lesson as far as why you're here. So,
Mhm.
it has nothing to do with wealth. I just happen to come in, both of us coming from the ground up,
Mhm. Yep.
meaning that, you're coming from nothing and trying to make something,
Yep.
as far as wealth is concerned and notoriety is concerned.
And yeah, it's just success in everything that we try to do, right?
Right. Well,
So,
this is the thing as well, just to finish the story. So once, and I'm tying it to mentorship because I'm going to follow where I'm going with this. Um, my next step, the fourth and fifth steps, was to seek outside, remedies. Now that I was honest with myself, now that I, you know, tried to worked on what I wanted to do, what I wanted to change. Now, I reach outside of myself for knowledge, like with books and seminars and stuff like that. Also with mentorship, and that's where I met Mattress Mac. When was my mentor, and he has his issues of his own, but just the contrast of his good stuff. His bad stuff is totally different from my bad stuff. His good stuff is totally different from my good stuff.
mhm.
So those clash of personalities, if I could take some of his good traits and incorporate it into my own, I could alchemize a whole new human being. And that's kind of what I did. I already had this work ethic. We share that similar, but he had a couple of other things that I alchemized, like always answering the phone, never running from anything, always running to it. Um, you know, always saying your point, never backing down. Always, just being straight up honest. So
Mhm.
a lot of things I took that he had, I took and incorporated in myself. So and that brings me to like the last point because we're not gonna keep y'all too long. How family is frequency.
Yeah, I
So
find that real fascinating.
all right, so how you evolve once you do evolve, and this is all in your Bible and everything like that, is that you're gonna start looking at, and that's the whole thing I struggle with. Like I don't connect like too much with my family anymore because I've evolved to a different spot, and they're still stuck in that spot where they were.
Mhm.
It's almost like, and what I mean by frequency is that it's like a radio frequency. When you tune in, only certain radios can catch certain channels and stuff like that. Certain
Yep.
spots are louder and stuff like that. Certain, if I certain, AM station might play loud in your area. Might, I can't get it in my area. So
Mhm.
that's what I mean by frequency. Some family I can't even hear them anymore, or they can't hear me. It's a disconnect.
Yeah, and I think, or
Yeah.
go on. Sorry.
No, I'm saying so. That's what I say. My thing is, I want to evolute family to meaning that people that's your vibe is your tribe.
Mhm.
You know,
And that's it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's real. It's a real thing, you know.
right. I mean, it's just that's where it's going with the technology. You know, Google Hangouts and you know, we're able to form relationships all over the world nowadays.
Hmm.
So we're not stuck into, hey, just because we share the same physical genetics, meaning that we have to hang around each other, even though we butt heads and we don't see
Hmm.
stuff eye to eye. I want to say one other thing, and then I'll hand it over to you. Dan Pena always say this as well. Dan Pena, one of my favorite entrepreneurs. I wanted to get him in the intro. For some reason, he slipped out. He said, show me your top five friends. I'll show you your future." You know, so show me your top five friends, and I'll show you your
Yeah,
future.
yeah, okay. I like that a lot too.
Right.
So it's true, you know.
Uh,
Like who you surround yourself with is your family, right? It's
uh,
like going back to the beginning, the mentorship thing is like you have to have mentors. It's like there's an old proverb that says like when the student is ready, the master will appear, right?
right.
And I do believe that wholeheartedly. It's like you're gonna have multiple mentors too. Like I learned from all different types of people in my life, and I consider a lot of them my mentors. You know, they're my teachers, and then I teach people. You know, the teachers also the student at the same time. You know, always learning. And it's a really good feeling. Like so, I'd say like if you're trying to learn how to like access it, like you said, read the books. You know, keep on learning. Find yourself good people to be around and frequency. You know, frequency is everything. Humans actually, I think they run at 432 hertz naturally, is what I'm saying. Like at base level, 432. Um, Plants and animals, depending on the types, fluctuate. That's why like mammals can like communicate with like sonar and stuff. It's pretty cool. And so just going back to the whole family stuff is it is frequency. You know, sometimes like there's toxic people in your family, and sometimes you just have to cut them loose, unfortunately. And then there's people you try to help, right, in your family, and they'll just shut you out. So it's a hard balance to be able to find. Like once you start figuring out how things work, is how to humble yourself to be able to associate with your families, right? And I think
Well,
I've got
that's the next question. Should I mean how much should you associate with them?
it depends on how much. I mean, it's like we said earlier in the show, right? Like they're just here to teach us, right? That's what our parents and sisters and brothers and stuff. Like we're all connected. Like this is our spiritual family, our friends. Like we all travel together when we're at whatever that means. You know, I'm not even sure what that means, but we all travel with each other. And when we see each other again, we're all playing different roles. And I think that like when we're here in this plane, in this reality, we're here to teach, to inspire our family who don't understand. I think that's one of our jobs. You know, like it can't just be you. I mean, you are the king of the family, even if they don't know it. You are the person who breathes life into the whole circle of family, and so it's your job to be able to help and disassociate, reassociate, and try to build that family, not just here in this material world, but also into the next phases too, because we're all in it together, I think.
Well, my thing, I vary a little bit on that, and the reason why I think, remember, we all one, so there are facets of you, you know, your consciousness to, you know, for you to experience certain things. That's why you came in this density.
For sure.
So certain experiences, once we experience, do we have to keep reliving it over and over and over and over?
No.
You know, so I am at a crossroads with certain people, like certain family members. They're so toxic. I don't need, you know, I'll leave that in what we perceive as the past, and leave
For
that as a
sure.
lesson. You know what I mean? That I know, like, hey, I'm not going there. I don't want to be an alcoholic. I don't want to be a drug addict. So
And that's why I said it takes 7 generations, right, to bring the whole family up. I think, like, not just like success, but like being able to build that for a long time. There's genetic code, right?
well, I think it takes one trailblazer,
Hmm. For sure.
and then from there you could, especially in this capitalistic system, my daughter's kids could go to the best schools and go to, learn proper etiquette from, day one. They were born into a whole different paradigm than I was. So they'll have their own experiences to work out and iron out and to better themselves. So they could actually stand on my back and get better, or they could relapse and they could go down, but it's all about the parenting. So if we
Hmm.
parent them correctly, they could, go further than I did. So let's
Hmm.
say I get, billionaire status, names after me. They could do like Muhammad Ali kids and, never hear from them again.
Yeah, or what? Bruce Lee's kid died, or
Right.
he got something crazy happened over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you could do like, I hate, not saying this is not a political show, but look at the Bushes, where
Hmm.
your kids
Yep.
are president too, or president, all of them are candidates, you know. And I'm not a fan of the Bushes. I'm just using them as an example. This is
Yeah.
not a political show whatsoever. You'll never hear my political views on this show, but I mean, and you got people that that even get better and better. Like what's a good example of your um and I mean, I hate to say it, but Antonio Brown, his dad was like a arena league football player, and he wind up
Hmm.
being one of the best wide receivers probably to ever do it. I mean, he has personal issues, but
Yeah, because
you know,
some people can't handle it, especially when they go fast in the public spotlight.
right. So you got your kids could go down parallel, keep the legacy going, or they could go out of the stratosphere. So it just depends.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and a lot of the family stuff is actually in the Bible. The list of kings and chronicles and like the different dynasties of you know, ancient civilizations,
right.
things like that.
Well, that means something else if you know the Kabbalah, but what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
that's a different show. But my
Mhm.
point is, I think I want to evolve into a family that's on the same frequency, and I think you can move better like that instead of just genetics. Um, and once you vibe with a certain tribe, I think together, like minds, could accomplish a lot more than all right. And instead of just looking at it, hey, these are my siblings or these are my genetic family, I'm gonna spend my time to try to boost them up to my frequency, which may never happen.
Yeah.
And just to remedy that, I know that sounds cold hearted and stuff like that, but my point is this: I feed them with a 10-foot spoon. Some of my family members, yes. If I have success, you guys are going to get boosted up. Meaning, but it's not up to me to be your psychiatrist and try to put your mind in my mind. I worked to
Hmm.
get my mind, and I wanted to do this. That's why my mind evolved and evoluted to where I wanted it to be. If you don't want your mind, you stuck in that same mind frame that you were 20 years ago. It's not my job to chip your ashlar and make
Hmm.
you, something that I want you to be. You have to want to be that. So I don't spend time trying to change people. I'm gonna feed them with a 10-foot spoon. We talked about this last week at the show, the Power of Ownership podcast. How do you help family members? What I do is I'll set you up a business or whatever, and hey, don't ask me for anything else. That's the Mattress Mac coming out my mentor. Hey, I'll set you up this. Don't ask me for any more money. If it implodes,
Hmm.
it implodes. If it takes off, it takes off. That's on you. So that's my gift to you. Leave me alone. I'm gonna be doing
Hmm.
this over there. That way you have nothing to complain of. You taste a little bit of my success, but it's not up to me to put my mind frame in your mind frame. You got to want
Yeah,
to be
everyone. Yeah,
nah,
yeah, everyone has their own path.
right. If you want, and that's the philosophy I have too. And I'm gonna end it with this, and we can go ahead and do the outro. I don't even argue with people anymore. If you want me to teach you, I'll teach you. I'll sit there and teach you all I know. I mean, I charge for this now, as far as mentorship, but certain people, if you want me to teach you, I'll teach you, but I'm not going to argue with you. Yeah, I'm too busy to argue with you. Like if you want to argue, but if you want me to teach you, I'll teach you.
For sure.
So that's where I'm at as far as life. It's I'm so busy with other stuff, it's not, and that's another thing. We can't put. I'm okay with people not having the same mind frame as me. I'm totally okay with that. If you want to think totally off, that's fine. It used to bother me, like, nah, you got to, turn it this way. You know what I mean? That way you're correct. I mean, how you want to perceive it is how you want to perceive it at that time. That's fine with me.
Yeah, it's okay too. Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
So, yeah.
So,
and so yeah, like just going to the fact of being busy, it's like that's the job of the master and the student, right? Like as masters, we are busy. Like we have mastered the art of time,
right.
And like not just like a spiritual thing, but like in this play, like we understand time management and we can maximize to the 100% of efficiency. And most people unfortunately aren't there yet. And so like when people ask for help, like we don't mind helping, but like we don't have time to just be wasting around for you to be coming in like knocking on the door like 6 times a day. Like you need to come. You need to be able to like have a plan and stuff like that.
Well, just to add to that note, I think people try to argue because that's the only form of communication they know.
Yeah, for sure.
Humbling themselves, like, hey, listen, I want to expand my knowledge in this particular field. They'll try to present a opposing argument to try to argue with you, try to get your attention. I think it's a cross thing. I think it's trying to get you, see your reaction, number one, and number two, to try to employ to get more knowledge. So we got to learn, hey, ask, to be taught and humble yourself. Even if, people that are younger than me are experts in specific fields, especially if you're expert in that field. Like, let's say, for example, with Steven, he's a geologist. If I need to learn about rocks, who the hell am I? I'm gonna ask him about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But with certain stuff, like I said, when you're talking about businesses and running multi-million-dollar businesses, or even stuff about writing, you might want to ask somebody that actually got a book published. You see what I'm saying? That actually has the experience. I think I put a meme the other day. How you gonna ask 1,000 there how to be a millionaire?
Yeah, you can't.
You gotta talk with somebody that actually made $1 million in a year before. Simple. So I think, but people want to argue. I mean, I guess because it's ego, whatever. But to sum it all up, I'm gonna go ahead and sum it up and let you have your last words, and we go ahead and wrap it up because I don't want to keep you too long. Again, what this has to do with ownership, everything. If you don't learn how to overcome your quote unquote family curses, and you want to, even didn't Prince say that? Maybe I'm just like my mother. She never said if you don't know how to overcome when doves cry, you're gonna be stuck in the same boat. Right. Yeah. Look at where your family is at. Where your family's at, be honest with yourself. Is where you want to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. If not, you might want to analyze the good stuff and the bad stuff about them and yourself. Start to distance yourself from the bad stuff. And when I say bad stuff, is again, nothing is good, nothing is bad. It's bad on what you need to achieve your goals. If your family's like my family's Debbie Downers all the time, and they look at the negative of everything, that's not good as far as goal setting. So I had to cut that loose. I had to, my thing is always positive. Positive energy activates constant elevation. This is on my board. Every time I look at my vision board, that's what I look at. Positive energy activates constant elevation. You know what I mean? So that's what and that's look at my vlog, all positive energy. So I reinforce, I double down, triple down, quadruple down on positive energy. I like positive energy. I don't like negative energy. You know what I mean? So if you can't understand that basics, or even if you're, one of the things I'm gonna say this side note, I just posted my last meeting that I posted on my Billionaire Loan Officer at Billionaire Loan Officer on Instagram is 4 ways are guaranteed to be broke. Habits, bad habits, toxic people, no goals, and what was it? I forgot the last one. Hold on, let me see. And a lot of people already got the likes.
Yeah, I liked it. I saw it.
What was the last one? I forgot. I'm slipping my mind. I'm getting old, man. No dreams and no goals and no discipline. No dreams and no goals. So I don't understand people that don't have any goals. That makes like X said in the intro, that makes life worth living. If you don't have any goals, what are you doing? If you don't have any dreams and aspirations, what are you doing here? That's why you get bored. I've never been. Have you ever been bored, Steve?
I wish I was bored. I think about it all the time. Like, why can't I'm so busy all the time.
There's so much to do to achieve these goals. There's no such thing as bored. I'm doing 2 or 3 things at a time. We're at the reunion yesterday. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. There's so much to do to achieve these goals. Going back to what I was saying is that if you can't master those 4 things, which is, if you looking at your family doesn't have any have these bad habits, maybe drinking, alcoholism, or drug addict, if they sit around the couch, and talk about other people instead of talking about plans and goals, if they don't have any discipline, meaning that they can't be persistent, they'll start something and then stop, or they sit around and they have boyfriends and girlfriends and they hate each other and hopping from one relationship to another.
Yep.
And you see this and they constantly have money issues. These are things that you might want to work on to get yourself out of the situation that you're in. Once you could get out of that and start fresh, pick up your cross and follow me. And with the cross, that's a whole nother lecture with the cross and all that stuff. But shed the old life and go to the New Testament, the new body and mind. Then you can start fresh and just start building yourself and building a new you. And then you can be successful in business, be successful in life. And then people that's still there, again, you throw them an acorn or something like that, but I'm not sitting there trying to be your shrink. So with that, I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to give Steven the last word, and then we're going to be out.
Yeah, I think what you just said is real powerful for the majority of people out there. A lot of times they don't even realize the situation they're in because they've never even seen something different, right? So all I have to say is don't be afraid to be different, especially when it comes to family. It's okay if you're the outcast, or it's okay if you have different ideas. Huh?
I said the black sheep, man.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, just make sure, just try to be yourself, and in the end, even though family might be difficult sometimes, that's all we have to rely on as a backbone. And I do believe that you should always try to help your family, and your family should help each other, even if it means different things than different family members. I think we all have to try to build something better. Yes, there is the one who is the king, right? Who is the guy who brings everybody, or the girl who brings everyone out of the old self, like you just said, the Old Testament into the new. But you can't do it all by yourself. You have to have those people, your friends, your actual family. You have to have them there for influence. And once you start climbing the ladders from one to the other, you'll realize, like, if you don't have these people in your life, sometimes it will be harder to be grounded to what's really going on. So I'd say just always have faith in what's important and try not to leave anyone behind if you can. So,
All right. So tell them where they can find you.
Steven Contreras 90 on Instagram and Steven Contreras on Facebook. Yeah, just click and then make sure you guys click our like button on our videos too.
Gotcha. We all again. We're gonna start the program. Uh, the contest, should I say, with the big screen. So we need to get over 1,000. We're gonna start it in October. So we need to get over 1,000 subscribers. So we're gonna do the subscriber win a big screen TV again in October. So stay tuned for that. That way we can start monetizing our channel, get the group chat and all that stuff in. So that's coming soon. So I'm gonna give away another big screen TV right in time for your dollar days. So so again, my name is Brandon B. Dixon. My book, Sales: The Nucleus of Any Profession, is out right now. Get you a copy of the working tools, especially if you're in sales right now. This is the time, the fourth quarter, when it's Christmas time, especially if you work in retail sales. Get the book now. That way you can have your nice Christmas, and make you some money this year. And right before the fourth quarter, now it's crunch time. It's game time. What I got upcoming right now is refi time. Like I said, a lot of people are calling me for refi. So go to www.hocmortgage if you want to refi your house. If I helped you get in a house like the last couple of years and interest rate was kind of high and you want to get it down to take advantage of these record lows right now, go to my website, www.hocmortgage.com. I got the webinar coming out before the end of the year, 6-Figure Sales Success. My second book is coming out for the beginning of the first quarter next year. Steven Contreras and I got a book coming out next year as well. That's coming out in 2020. So 2 books in 2020 is my agenda. The webinar, 6-Figure Sales Success. Stay tuned for the show. We're getting better and better and better. You want me to mentor you? You want to get up and personal and want me to tailor make you a plan for success where you can make you $1 million a year? Go to www.billionaireloanofficer.com. Book me. Either I could come mentor you one-on-one. I got a ton of people want to be loan officers now. So you want to be a loan officer? You want to be on my team? Then pay to play. I'll mentor you. A lot of people want to DM me. Hey, how do I become a loan officer? Book me and I'll teach you. Or if you want me to, you got a lot of furniture stores and stuff like that want me to speak a motivational speech or something like that at there, or even tailor make you a sales script for your business. Go to www.billionaireloanofficer.com. I'm available for all of that stuff. With that, I'm going to say God is a verb and personal responsibility is your only savior. And so with that, I'm going to say peace.
Yeah, peace, guys.